if I could add just a little bit to that too, is that there should be some flexibility within this too. That the key here is you got goals and you have metrics, but you have an array of strategies and interventions to get to those goals. So if we say we're going to invest X amount of money in a particular strategy, and you then come to us and say, okay, administration, show us the results of that investment. And we show you the results of that investment, and you as a policymaker are saying, you know, that's not good enough. That may not be the strategy that we need to get the results. So then you would then challenge us back, because that would be our job then to come up with a different strategy, a different intervention. So that's where I think is the give and take of this type of thing. That, you know, we present you a budget and you say, okay, what's the evidence, Superintendent, that the money that you're putting in these quadrants is going to get us the biggest results? I think we've having some great conversations lately about teachers in low-performing schools. We've had conversations about consistent curriculum. We've had, you know, those types of conversations about who supports the adults as opposed to who supports the children. So as we invest in those areas, we'll be able to have those dialogues and discussions. And the board may say, you know what, we're going to take this a little bit different direction, not the goals, not the metrics, but the way you get there may be adjusted, and we may be adjusting things based on how is the money and the strategies getting the results we need. That we've never had the litmus test for. That we're actually, we have documentation to support how we're placing money in what various resources. And when the community comes forward and says, we want money over here, we want money over here, and the board says that, and that's the piece. And then you say, well, wait a minute. No, we're investing the money in this right here because these are the results. The math lead teachers and the $10 million we've invested is closing the achievement gap and moving the performance of our children. And there's a direct relationship to that. So if the community comes out and says, school board, don't invest your money in this. Why are you doing that? Put the money over here. You can go back and say, well, here's clear evidence, an example of why we're investing our money. If there is no evidence, then obviously then we have a case. So that's the type of thing where things are more documented and tracked.
Just to follow up, very briefly, is I am interested and hopeful of seeing the kind of tool that would be essentially more easily utilized by the board. I understand this is a great way for us to watch you work. It's not a great way for us to watch what we do to you while you work. And I do believe you deserve at least to have the chance for us to decide that we're going to be serious about self-discipline. And if we reject it by rejecting a tool or by continuously changing tools, I believe that the people that do this work deserve to have that made public and manifest. And it's especially important with regard to the way priorities may shift, because what's complicated, and the superintendent referenced this, is that he's done a lot of work. The administration has done a lot of work. Everyone's done a lot of work to get people, what you say, out of their silos, so that it's not necessarily the department, it's the functional plan that's driving the work now. The budget's still going to go to departments, but it's functional plans that are driving the work. One positive of that is it may eliminate the turf struggles, or at least change the character of the turf struggles from one division to the other. So I think that's just good. But so many of the strategies for student achievement are interrelated that we could very easily, as a board, decide to strip away support strategies, and essentially, if we're going to use the GM analogy, is we'll buy hubcaps for your Cadillac, but we'll sell the car, right? We're capable of that. We've done it before. So clearly, the kind of way that this board needs to track its decisions and its prioritization is extremely important, and it's not necessarily the case because of any particular individual incompetence on the board. It's because the board changes. And so how that gets referenced and that made transparent, I think, is crucial to having this document lead to the outcomes that it's supposed to get to. So I'm really looking forward to the kind of priority mechanisms and the change tracking mechanisms that can be held up so the board can be transparent with the public about the decisions that it's making. And if you're providing that, that's heroic, and I'm looking forward to it.